I'm convinced that there is nothing more cringe and insane than the Looksmaxxing community. What you're about to watch is an edit of a guy who was born with a cleft lip, essentially just opening up about life and being vulnerable with his audience. And a Looksmaxxer decided to take a clip out of that video and make an edit out of him in an attempt to call him ugly with this collage of men that he finds attractive.
I have to remind myself this is part of my life. That's just not how my luck is.
Now, I honestly apologize that your guys' eyes had to see that. I'm not talking about the guy. I'm talking about this edit. I mean, it's one of the most cringe things I've ever seen. What's so wild to me is that the caption of this video says brutal mid-face, insulting the guy. Yeah, I promise you, if you look closely through this edit, you couldn't find one picture of the guy who made this edit. And that's because the guy is probably insecure himself. Funny enough, this guy's whole page is dedicated to him making edits of other men that he finds attractive. Yet in all of those edits, that man is nowhere to be found. I find it so crazy that his name is Keep Coping Boyo. It says most brutal black pill edits, don't get mad at me. Yet he's taking a bunch of other men and putting them into edits to call other people ugly. That is the most cringe thing I have ever seen. Like, I'm sorry, but the Looksmaxxing community is one of the most insecure and sad communities I've ever seen in my life. And we're gonna go more into that. But let me address the elephant in the room real quick. Number one, I know y'all see this entirely new setup, and that is because I have moved. Unfortunately, there will be no more Kobe in the background, and no more bed in the background. That was a pretty big staple, I will say, on this channel. RIP the bed. Also, the other elephant in the room, I haven't uploaded in like a month, which, yeah, that's because like the whole moving process. Also, my PC broke while moving. Actually, this is my old PC right here. You can see like the little thing is on the ground and everything. But yeah, UPS pretty much just messed up my PC while shipping it over, and I had to get an entirely new one, unfortunately. But hey, we're back now, back with consistent uploads, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you all for supporting the channel. Back to Looksmaxxing. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what Looksmaxxing is, it is basically the practice in trying to maximize your looks. It's a term used online very often nowadays, and like I will say, the root of Looksmaxxing makes sense. I mean, the whole idea of Looksmaxxing, I feel like, is a pretty good idea. Maximizing your looks, I think that's a great idea. Let me say, there is nothing wrong with trying to better yourself, whether that's grooming yourself properly, going to the gym, having a skincare routine, eating the right foods, all that good stuff. I myself do all these things. But what I want to focus on more in this video is the extreme Looksmaxxers. And these are the people who are so deep into Looksmaxxing that there is no return. The people who think that all that matters in life is looks, and that's pretty much it. And while I do agree, your looks can open more doors than if you didn't have the looks, let's be real here. The difference between flirting and harassment nowadays can sometimes boil down to how you look. I mean, imagine if you're a guy who looks a lot like Kelly Oubre and you walk up to a girl, start complimenting her, start flirting with her, then ask for her number. She'd probably be very flattered. Then imagine if you were a busted, chopped, hideous, unpleasant creature doing that exact same thing. You'd probably get called a creep, unfortunately. So it makes sense on why we as people care so much about our looks. But at the same time, I do think it's pretty insane to stare into a mirror every day and hyper-analyze every single pore on your skin. And also doing all these weird methods to change your facial structure, like thumb pulling. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what thumb pulling is, I have a tutorial actually right here for you that looks like it was made by what looks like a 16-year-old.
A lot of you have been asking for a thumb pulling tutorial. Here is a full guide on thumb pulling to achieve more forward growth like I did. I want you to put your body against a wall, roll your shoulders back, and put your chin to your neck. Next, I want you to put your thumbs on your palate. Push up and out with your thumbs and resist with tucking your chin. You should hold this position for 30 seconds and repeat 5 times or more each day.
Did this man have to have the deep voice filter on this? Could he not just have narrated this video himself? Maybe I'm just nitpicking. But I'm gonna be completely honest. When you look at the before and after of this guy thumb pulling, it looks like nothing changed. Actually, no, the lighting was the one change, that's all. But other than that, he looks the exact same. And I find it so so insane that the guy who created this video is so young, yet he cares so much about having this insanely sharp jawline. He's so dedicated to this that he's quite literally shoving his thumbs into his mouth and pushing his back against the wall and tricking his brain into thinking that there's some sort of change when really there isn't. The only change there was the lighting and the angle. That's pretty much it. Like, it's very sad. And here's another video of somebody who thumb pulls and they track their 30-day results. And the crazy part is that from day 1 to day 30, there's no change at all except for the lighting and angle. It's like these guys are doing nothing and they're tricking themselves into believing that they did something. He quite literally just put on a shirt and looked away from the camera rather than looking into the camera. Like, what is this guy even on about? I see no difference at all. And if you thought that looksmaxxing method was insane, just wait until you hear about this next method, bone smashing, where you hit your facial bones with hard objects like a phone or a hammer in the hopes of changing the shape to have this more chiseled look. And y'all may think I'm joking, but I am being dead serious. There are people out there hitting themselves in the face with hammers in an attempt to become more attractive. Like, this has to be considered some sort of mental illness. During the research of this video, I actually found a guy on TikTok who apparently has been bone smashing for 29 days straight. And he has all these bruises on his face. And to top it all off, the man is using a rusty hammer. Like, you couldn't find a clean hammer anywhere. Like, you just had to hit yourself with the rusty, dusty, dirty hammer that you found in the garage. That is disgusting. And the fact that the hammer is touching this man's face is even more disgusting. I know it carries hella germs. And it's sad because this dude looks really young as well. He looks like he's in high school. And I feel like it opens up this conversation on if this extreme looksmaxxing is really about bettering yourself. I'm sorry, but you're not bettering yourself if you're hitting yourself in the face with a hammer to the point where you're leaving bruises on your face. That's more on the lines of self-hate than self-love. This guy is quite literally harming himself. This is self-harm. But YouTube, this is AI because I don't want to get this video taken down or demonetized or any of that. I think someone who loves themselves would accept how they look and own it rather than hitting themselves in the face with a hammer repeatedly to change their facial structure to get this Minecraft Steve look. I quite literally saw another guy while doing the research of this video trying to become more pale, and this man called it the vampire method. What's crazy is by the end of this whole vampire method, this man looks sick. And I don't mean he looks sick in like the, oh, you look sick in a cool way. No, he genuinely looks sick. Then you got all these people in the comment section saying, teach me, teach me, teach me. It is so cringe. Yet at the same time, I find it so sad. Like, why don't you teach yourself how to get a job instead of spamming in the comment section of this guy's videos asking how you can get more pale? These looksmaxxers quite literally hate themselves so much to the point that they can't even fathom being comfortable in their own skin. They want to change the color of their skin like it's a Call of Duty camo. And the crazy part is, that's not even the end of these looksmaxxing methods, because these methods just keep getting goofier and goofier. There is a method out there called the towel method where dudes bite towels in order to get more prominent jawbones. Here's actually a video of a guy doing a few of these methods. So he starts off with the towel method. As you can see, this guy kind of looks like XXXTentacion, and he's also hitting the light-skinned dog face. I don't know why, but, you know, we'll just keep on going. As you can see, he's biting the towel. I don't know why he just winked at us, but hey, man, say, man. And then this is apparently called the ice method, where he takes the ice and ices his jawline, and then he does this weird thing with his mouth. I don't know what that was, but okay. As you can see, he just keeps on rubbing his jawline, getting a little bit of the lips, and then he starts rubbing his eye, and this is to get siren eyes. And you can see this man has the enhancements of doom. Then he does this inner eye pulling, and then I guess this is the end of it. This is the end result. And then he just does this weird, I don't know why he's making this face right there. This man looks like Flapjack trying to bust out a laugh. I find these methods so stupid because I feel like half this stuff nobody truly cares about. Like, this man is rubbing his inner eyes and icing the corner of his eye. Do we really need to do that? Is this really necessary? And is it really gonna make that much of a change? Like, let's just be completely real here. Exactly. Here's another looksmaxxer. I guess this guy has been looksmaxxing for 54 days straight.
Okay, looksmaxxing day 54. So finally I bought derma roller to use on my cooked hairline. Took it और मैंने थोड़ा सा pressure apply करके अपने right as well as left hairline में इसको use किया. Then I used zygo pushing to get upper set cheekbones.
What the hell is zygo pushing? You're pushing your face in. This isn't gonna do anything. Like, maybe I'm just hating. Maybe I'm just the biggest hater on this planet, which, hey, if I am, so be it. But I feel like this is just so pointless. Nobody cares about your zygos or whatever. Half the population doesn't even know what zygos are. Like, maybe I'm just a hater.
Then moved on to orbicularis oculi, जिससे कि हमारा upper eyelid exposure कम हो सके.
And also your orbicularis oculi. Do people even really care about this? Or are you just doing this because you're just hyper analyzing it and you think everyone cares, when in reality, no one truly cares?
Then moved on to MPR for jaw gains and finalized our routine with thumb pulling. And also you can see my jaw gains and comment whether the thumb pulling and all the exercises are working or not. Peace.
I feel like he's just doing this stuff just to do it. And this is so insane. The top comment says, "You're Indian, bro. It was over before it began." That is insane. That is actually insane. And here's another one of these stupid methods from these Looksmaxxers. This is apparently called eye area maxing, where you make your eyes wider. And this is the before, as you can see. I guess he just has normal eyes. And then this is his method. And as you can see, it looks like nothing really changed. All you did was put on mascara and open up your eyes, little bro. You literally did nothing. Is that really eye area maxing, or are you just opening your eyes even more? And what makes this Looksmaxxing community even more sad is that these guys have legit online forums where they quite literally just rate each other's looks all day long. There's a whole website for this Looksmaxxing stuff called looksmax.org, and it's a whole forum of these guys just rating each other, giving out tips, doing all this BS. And there's also Reddit groups for these Looksmaxxers to rate each other's looks and give each other tips. Here's actually one that I just found the funniest. This one is called r/mogwarts. And as you can see, the first picture, it's this guy saying, "Need tips for improvement. I've been having a hard time with my face. I think it's the fact that my maxilla is underdeveloped, yet mewing doesn't help. Besides the fact my face is filled with acne and the fact I'm fat, I seem to also have small eyes that don't match with the rest of my face." I feel like this guy is just hyper analyzing, bro. For you to care so much about just your eyes being small, that's something that you can't really change, you know? So why even bother caring about it? My suggestion, don't worry too much about your maxilla. Don't worry about mewing, etc. You have pretty good features. Just keep focusing on skincare and fat loss. Those two things alone will ascend you. When you've done both of those things, try maintaining your eyebrows as well as trying out new hairstyles/haircuts. Also, always stay clean shaven unless you have thick facial hair. The final step is learning how to take flattering photos. Lighting plus angles changes everything. You said it all. This stuff is just sad to me, man. Rating, completely honest. Why do you want a bunch of other men to rate you? I mean, unless you swing that way, you know, it's Pride Month and everything. But I assume you don't. So like, why do you want all these other men to rate you in a Reddit group? What can I do to improve further? And rate me 1 out of 10. Is this a picture of him as a child? Why do you have a picture of you as a child and then you have a picture of you grown up? Are you trying to like show that you had a glow up? That is not a glow up. That's a freaking grow up. What are we doing? It's so backwards to me because you're having men rate how you look, and that's your litmus test on whether or not you're attractive to women. Instead of actually going up and maybe talking to a woman, or maybe even just touching grass, or maybe getting a little job or something like that. I know I just used a slur. I didn't mean to use the J slur. But maybe get a job, you wouldn't be so focused on this stuff. Okay, so I feel like I just have to bring this up, but with the research of this video, I've also learned a new term, sub 5. So if you're unfamiliar with what a sub 5 is, according to Urban Dictionary, it's a person who is below a 5 out of 10 on the black pill / Looksmaxxing look scale. People in this range are seen as conventionally unattractive and often feel as if they're invisible to the opposite sex. Now, apparently this is like a term that's used a lot within the whole Looksmaxxing community, and I just find it super cringe. Like, if we're referring to human beings as sub 5s and just all this, that just sounds so dumb. I'm sorry. But what's even more insane to me than this odd term is the Looksmaxxing edits. Now, y'all saw the edit earlier. That was cringe. But what if I told you that there are even more cringe Looksmaxxing edits out there? Like this one right here.
All right, guys, whoever catches these flowers gets to be my girlfriend. 3, 2, 1.
Now we really got to break this down to a science. We really have to analyze this. Okay, so the start where he says whoever catches these flowers will be my girlfriend. It's obviously a skit. That's the Chica dance guy who was dancing every day until he got a girlfriend on TikTok and he became a huge meme. And from what I can tell, these Looksmaxxers have no humor in them because I guess once you Looksmax so much, your humor just completely leaves you and you can't detect what's a skit and what's not a skit. And yeah, I guess they just took this seriously. And also I wonder, why is there a watch at the bottom left of this whole edit? Like what is this Kalith watch? What is this? Is this a TikTok ad? And then I wonder, what are these schizophrenic graphs that just pop up randomly for like a split second? What does all this BS mean? And when I tell you, these comments are so cringe. Looks are everything. No, he's just unlikable. Bro, he was obviously joking, man. I'm so glad there's somebody who understands in the comment section. Here's another Looksmaxxing edit where I guess it's some sort of dating show and one guy gets swiped left on while the other guy gets swiped right on. And these Looksmaxxers decide to make this an edit, basically making fun of the guy and essentially just calling him ugly. This is literal brain rot. Oh my god, this is brain rot. Obviously, she's gonna choose someone who she's attracted to. I want a nerdy guy. Do you think everyone is created equal? Really? And here's another edit where there's a guy and I guess he's asking a girl to like prom or homecoming or something. And he has a sign and some roses. And it seems like the girl says no, hell no, you know? And she rejected the guy, unfortunately. And these Looksmaxxers decide to make an edit out of this as well. Would he get rejected if he was true Tyrone? She wants Anthony Joshua, not him. Okay, shout out Anthony Joshua. I love me some boxing, you know, huss. Might just get knocked out. But yeah, I don't think it's that she wants Anthony Joshua. I guess she just didn't want bro right there. Sub 5 rejecting sub 5. Okay, I'm pretty sure y'all get the gist, you know. Pretty much, they just take a sad moment or maybe a skit or even something funny that's supposed to be comedic. They'll take it super seriously, make an edit out of it with a bunch of men that they find attractive and basically just try to shit on other people. And I just find it so corny. Looksmaxxing trend is so cringy. Me looking at them, brutally mugging them. Face reveal when? Exactly. It's not gonna happen. So while researching this video, I also found this, I guess, graph right here that tells you how your nose shape is rated within the Looksmaxxing community. A Greek nose, 10 out of 10. Turnip nose, 9 out of 10. Snub nose, 7 out of 10. Flat nose, 4 out of 10. Roman nose, 2 out of 10, and then fleshy nose, 0 out of 10. And I find it so sad that there's 3,000 people that legit save this. They're probably thinking every day like, man, I have a fleshy nose. I'm a 0 out of 10 to these random people online. Oh my gosh. I just find it so dumb. But yeah, it's looking like I have the Roman nose maybe, or maybe even the fleshy nose. I don't know. Y'all tell me in the comment section below. And if you thought that the Looksmaxxing community couldn't get any more cringe, what if I told you that they have Looksmaxxing apps that rate people on if they're attractive or not? Oh, you thought the Reddit groups were crazy and the Looksmaxxing websites? Yeah, these Looksmaxxing apps are even crazier. The video that you guys are seeing popped up on the screen right now is this app UMAX, and this is, I guess, the app that Looksmaxxers use to rate themselves. This just gets sadder and sadder. Like, the more I speak about these Looksmaxxers, I just realize how like far gone these people are. And the funniest thing is that these apps aren't free. Yes, they are free in the App Store, but to actually utilize them, you have to pay a weekly subscription in order to get that rating. And it's only like $4 or $5, but I still think that's a complete ripoff. If you need to spend $4 or $5 for an app to tell you if you're masculine or if you have potential or if you look good, then you have some serious thinking to do. Like, go into a room, sit down, and just think for a second. When I tell you, I will walk through the Sahara Desert dressed like an Eskimo before I have an app tell me if I'm attractive or not. I'm telling that AI, hey man, say man, if you're not rocking with Young Cam Slam Busticle, then get to stepping, little. You're an AI. You do not have a face. Get off my balls. Okay, that's kind of a diss. Hold Hold on. I'm dissing AI right now. Terminator, do not come after me. But yeah, in conclusion, there's nothing wrong with trying to better yourself. I truly believe the whole idea of looksmaxxing is a good idea, just trying to maximize your looks. As a human, you always want to strive for the best each and every day, and that makes complete sense, you know? But do not take this looksmaxxing to these extremes. Don't become one of these people that hyperfixate on their looks 24/7, because you're more than your looks. I'm no self-help guru or anything, but I believe it's all about how you carry yourself. Accept who you are and own who you are. If you got a big forehead, own it. Y'all don't see me wearing hats and I have this huge forehead. That's because, you know, I'm comfortable with this forehead. I'ma flash this forehead any chance I get. Look at it. Look at it. Just look at it. Look at it right now. And from showing off this forehead, I've reached 200,000 subscribers, and I wanted to thank every single one of you people who've made it this far. And I'm never gonna stop showing this forehead. But yeah, I feel like that's a great message to end this video off on. Love yourself so you don't fall into these weird looksmaxxing extremes. That being said, this is gonna wrap up the video. If you guys made this far, I appreciate you. Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter, CameronWAK. Make sure to go follow all of those. Discord link in the description. If you guys enjoyed this video, then I highly recommend you guys check out my most recent video. It'll be right up here on the screen. All that being said, thank you guys for watching. It's Cameron, and I'm out.